Tadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guratmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satiguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. We have seen in our last class the verse 30 verse. I am a Prahaladaha among the Daityas. I am time among the reckoners or computers. Well, I'm curious to see what is this deal computer here on the scripture from Gita. I'm the lion among the animals and so on. Let's see. We have seen a little bit of it that we have cruised through all these Puranic difficulties, because it's not my cup of tea, and it's not the cup of tea of most of you. Definitely not Sylvia's cup of tea. We have seen this passage here. Let's just surf on what whatsoever Swamiji says, and then I try to find what is most relevant, and you, Lean, please feel free to do the same. I remember in the early morning before reading the newspaper and spoiling the mind, I remember the names of all the great bhaktas. So this is Swamiji saying that he read the newspaper. We know about that. He's an old style man. And then he says the newspaper have so many bad news that somehow it spoils his mind. Okay. I remember the names of all great bhaktas, and the topmost one is Prahalada. He was an Asura by birth, Asura Jati. But by character, he was a Brahmin, let's say, because he was a Sattva Guna Pradhana individual. From these, we understand another thing is that birth does not make a person great, definitely not, but the character. The character is a function of the gunas operate in one's body, mind, sense complex. So the most sattva guna balanced with proper proportion of raja guna and tama guna, it's a cocktail that has to be nicely blended so that a person could be said to be a wise, great person, a spiritually elevated person. Therefore, we can never look down on a person based on birth. So we don't have much this problem in the USA. This is more we see there is a bit of this all over the world, but not as much as in India. The caste system of India, they are seen from the birth Janma condition, So I was born like this, I was born like that. So, and those people see the so-called Brahmanas who are born from Brahmanis, yeah, or who are to lot given to lot of vices, and I respect Brahmana. So regardless of this character, people praise and respect Brahmanas, but this is not something very rational. Birth does not make anybody great. What does so? One's character, one's personality, one's spiritual development. And here Swami was remembering this Prahlada. who was born an Asura, yeah, and whereas Ravana was born a Brahmana. So Vishwaraputra, no, no. So what's the deal of Ravana in opposition to Prahlada? Let's see. Nobody is in the list of people to be remembered. Do we add Ravana? No. Therefore, it's not verse. Ravana is excluded. But Prahlada, although he was born by birth, he was an Asura, is included. He's just presenting that in reality, well, some of our scriptures highlight people who became great, wise sages, although they were born in more inferior kind of environmental condition. But people can, you see, the whole thing here is we have this so-called free will or the ability to discern, determine, and choose, from moment to moment, and that could guide a person to overcome amazing obstacles such as be born in a very, very unfavorable circumstance, such as in a Asura family. So just imagine such a challenge. Therefore, always give importance to one's character, which is a byproduct of one's exercise of the human intelligence. And in this verse, it seems that he says that among the ones who keep the account of all jivas, I am Kalayati. I am the bookkeeper. They keep accounts. Keep account. I'm called Kalayat. Yeah. I keep. I'm the bookkeeper of all karmic accounts of all jivas, not only human jivas, but all. So for many things you keep account, and now comes the computer. Computers keep track of everything nowadays, and now much more than ever before. And how Ishvara does that, it has to keep track of one's punya papa, not only our personal punya papa, but the circumstantial collective punya papa, when all individual punya papas come into the equation, fructify as a collective parabola. It's very complex. Imagine what a type of computer is required for such a complex track of everyone's karma. And who is feeding this computer? So it's unbelievable. From the morning, the time you kill the first mosquito, somebody, the Shwara system, as sometimes I refer to, is keeping account, as we say some bad words or rough words to someone. We look down on someone or we look up and we help someone, we feel love and empathy to some people. So everything is being, how you say, in computing book, you have to punch into the system, and I punch into the system. Here. Each one of these karmas has to be punched into the Ishvara karmic system. Everything that you deliberately do is a karma punched into the system. Not only you do actions in these births, but you have been doing actions since beginningless. So you have Sanchita, Agami, and Parabada. All these three karmas are stored in each Ishvara system for each individual soul. Just imagine. And Swami says that on those days when he did this Gita, before the turning or during the turn of the century, past century, many jivas are here. Now, only in India there are 6 billion. So in China, there is another, uh, sorry, 1 billion. In China, another billion, more or less. And all over the planet, 6 billion. And only in 25 years, we have gone over 8 billion. Just imagine the trajectory, you know. No wonder this the elite globalists all scratching how we're going to contain this demographic explosion. So mosquitoes also are included because they are as good jivas as us. Sometimes they say that we are the favorite jivas of Ishwar, but you know, all other life structure from the animal, insect, on the sea, the vegetable, rain, all of those are jivas as well, and they seem to have their own karmic account. I don't understand very much this concept, but I hear Swamiji presenting it here and there because the evolution comes from the mineral, and then you go through the vegetal, animal, and then you are born as a human being. And for that, somehow the this progression or this how you say promotion, these promotions occur according to the karma of this individual soul, traveling through the mineral, the vegetable, the animal. I mean, it's a little bit too stretchy to one's mind to try to understand how a small insect, a small germ living within our body can elevate itself spiritually by doing some good karmas to become a cockroach in the next life, and then from there on can become a better animal or so it doesn't matter. Human beings are there, mosquitoes, cockroaches are there, every one of these, because we see that every insect, every animal is doing something. But on the other hand, we know that the animals not having a conscious mind, choosing from moment to moment how to respond to the stimulus of one's environment, they respond without any sense of karmic tie to it, or they are not really made responsible for anything because they are kind of programmed directly from Shwara through their causal body. They don't have the self-reflection. I am, and I know that I am, and I need to present my actions. I have to uh, observe my thoughts and present my actions, and I'm going to try to figure it out so that my actions can become life better for me, and then slowly, the person understands that in order for my life to be better for me, it has to be better for people around me as well. Otherwise, I'm going to be producing spiritual papa as I make my life better on a more material sense. So now we have mosquitoes, cockroaches, we have these karmas because every one of these creatures are putting actions in the field. Everything is going to this system computer, this mega computer, uh, from the smallest subtle action to the biggest. And then the complexity is that this equation that it's impossible for us to understand provides results, and not whenever we desire to get the result. There is a timing element to it. So appropriate time. So we put actions, the actions have to be present as well in appropriate time, and the results, you forget it, leave it for Ishwara, because only this amazing karmic system will be able to define and deliver each one of our parabada. And we want to have a good parabada. but somehow Prabhupada is always Punya Papa, Papa Punya, and so on. The whole game is you don't want to live a life experience too much Papa, 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 because Papa usually makes the mind more tamasic or rajasic and less fit for understanding the game of life. So we need to try to follow Dharma to have more punya, parabada karmas, because punya makes the mind more relaxed. Favorable circumstance. Favorable circumstance allow the mind to free some of this Viveka Shakti to understand the game of life. So computer called Kalam Tattva, he says among the computers, among this Ishwara system, because Ishwara system, it has, I mean, if you know a little bit of bookkeeping, so you know that you have to punch data, but then you have to later on see the overall picture once you have all this data in your system. You have a small firm or a business. And then later on, you have someone who is going to analyze those numbers and say, yes, we are going in a good trajectory, and we should adjust this and that. So here we have all this data punching into the system that is kept. Yeah? It's kept by Ishwara, this supreme intelligence. But among the entire system, there is something even higher than punching data into a system, which is analyzing it and providing the parabada in a proper time. Okay, so therefore he says among every aspect of this computer system, I am the timing. I am Kalun Tattva or Yamadama Adama Raja. That's why he's called Dhamma Raja. He gives the karma pala perfectly according to the law of karma and in proper time. That's why it says Kalaha or not. Kalaha time, that one is not related to time or not.
Kala Tattvam most likely means the time principle, the principle of time itself.
Yeah, it's the principle of time or the nature of time. So it has to be, the punya requires dharma. Here it says Yamadama Raja, the king of dharma. And among the kings, I am Yamadama Raja. Among the system, the computer system, the Shwara system, I'm the timing element. I will present one's Parabada Karma Palam according to the justice or the Dharma itself. And therefore, I am Kala Tattva, which is responsible for the manifestation of our karma, and Chitra Gupta is called, it's kept secret, means secret, or impossible to be understood by the human intellect. So Vaishyas are generally called by the name of Gupta. In business, most important thing is what? You should not tell the truth. Shastra accepts it. Okay, so how interesting. In business and geopolitics and politics, everybody lies right and left all the time. And here, Swamiji is saying that it's all right. That's the way it is. And he says that in business, which is a small, little thing within the governance business of every nation, people do not tell the truth. They hold their cards, so to speak. Therefore, for Vaisya community, the title given is Gupta, the one hiding the secret. Ishvara hides the secret. So what will be your parabada and when it will be manifest. For Kshatriya community, the title is giving Vama. Vama means what? Kavacham, protection of society, Protection society from the Adamic nature of human beings. So when we talk about the Dharma, it's important we understand that it's within the nature of human beings moved by ignorance, which right now is huge. Yeah? So everybody has this cosmic tendency to violate Dharma and reject God and its laws and principles. Therefore, there are some warriors, Kshatriya, in the Kshatriya community is giving, the title is giving Varma, that one, the one who protects the society against the violation of Dharma. Therefore, Brahmanas are called Sharmas. Ramakrishna Sharma Manaha. So some nuance Swami tried to explain some why some words are used here and there, including in the Ramakrishna mission, maybe. Sharma stands for quietude, peace, tranquility. Thus, Shama, Varna, and Gupta. Why I'm saying is all the karmas are kept in secret, computed in secretly. That's why on a special day, you do a special puja to Chitra Gupta. So from another angle, so what is kept secret from us? Nearly everything, our past and our future. The present is here. We try to understand what's going on, but the past, oh no, I would like to know my past life, this and that, because it's not fair, better not. And the future, ooh, don't try to know your future because and then you are cooked for once for all. You may know things that you don't want to know about the next month or next year or even next day. You're going to begin suffering and worrying in anticipation. So everything is kept secretly. That's why on a special day you do a special puja to Chitra Gupta. So there in this puja special day, you give something. We need to kind of bribe him so that some of your karmas will be swept under the carpet. Very funny, Swamiji. So, Kalaha, among the animals, I am the lion. Okay, it's a good animal to be, huh? It's so beautiful. It's has the greatest possible status, the king among the animals. So it takes us to the next file, file 137. We are taking Lord Krishna's enumeration of Ishvara Vibhutis, or the glories of Ishvara. We have been seeing it extensively. We know that the entire creation is Ishvara's glories. You can pick and choose any small thing and make it a symbol of Ishvara's Vibhuti. And then you can do rituals, pujas, and even upasana. That's the purpose of enumeration all of these different vibhutis. You can, this is nice, you can invoke the Lord by any of these things. So anything that you like. I don't like cockroach, so it would be a terrible symbol for me to invoke Ishvara. So the rivers are beautiful symbols. Krishna enumerates Ganga. So if you want to use one of my rivers, so use Ganga, that I am the Ganga, the glorious Ganga among all the rivers. So Ganga is the best symbol to invoke my glory, my nature, my intelligence, my power, my omniscience, my omnipresence. So that's why in our culture, Ganga is Snanam is considered to be a special punya because Krishna enumerates that. What is this Snanam?
It,
Ganga Snanam?
it's a bathing in the Ganga.
Bathing. Okay. It's considered to be to give you a special punya. So thus, for personal purpose, there is this enumeration will be useful. They serve as alambana or symbols of the glory of the Lord. As I said, Krishna enumeration is based on the things experienced here, and many of the enumerations are based on the mythological stories of the Puranas and so on. And Krishna Ji has presented it all here in the Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita, assuming that the Puranas would remain very relevant, in the future, and not take into account that this Bhagavad Gita in the future would be present to people all over the world, people who had never had any contact with this kind of Puranic culture. So, but because Krishna assumed that it would remain relevant, he present all these stories in the Gita, and explains that even an asura such as Prahlada could become the greatest possible devotee of the Lord. So in the Bhagavatam, the story of this guy, Prahlada, is very well known, and in which we find the highest Vedanta talked about. Okay. In the Bhagavatam, there are many stutis. Okay. Each one of these individuals symbolizing different glories of the Lord. There is a lot of profound Vedanta teachings built into those, packed into those stutis. What is the literal meaning of this word, stuti?
I believe it's a glorification or a worship of that deity or Puranic figure.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, that should prove that even someone born from an Asura family can become a great worshipped yani. Therefore, one need not feel bad about one's caste or birth circumstance. Birth does not really indicate superiority or inferiority. What is important is one's state of mind. So Swami is reminding us of the fourth chapter. He talked about Jati Brahmana, Kama Brahmana, and Guna Brahmana. See. Jati Kshatriya, Kama Kshatriya, and Guna Kshatriya. Okay, I remember vaguely. Yeah. So you can be a Brahmana by birth, you can be a Brahmana by actions, no? And then you may build a character, which is a character of Brahmin. You can be born as a warrior, you can act as a warrior, and you may become as a character, a true warrior. Therefore, do not focus on those births, but focus on the exercise of your free will. Proper karma, we have to choose, and by doing that karma with proper attitude, we have to transform our character, and ultimately we should become a guna, yani a guna brahmana. Prahlada became a guna brahmana, and therefore Krishna takes this opportunity to name him here. So I am Kalaha Tattva, also who is responsible for the maintenance of the ripening of the karma at the appropriate. Now it comes the time in sync. So every karma that you do has to ripen and produce its results. And but there is a structure, intelligent structure that says that it's easily verifiable that there is a time involved, you know, and this time involved it's hidden from us, you know? So it says every karma will has to ripen to produce its results balance at the right time, and it requires the maintenance of the law of karma principle, and I am the Kalatvam who is responsible for that. So the Lord Ishvara system protects the Dharma, inflicting punya papam on different people, and maintaining the structure of the Dharma, hopefully. But sometimes I say if our civilization is bound to blow the planet, you know, it means that we need this papan, you know. It's collective papan, let's say, you know. So the maintenance is there. Who is responsible for that? Is this supreme intelligence who knows the timing for everything. Not only that, when there is a group of people, like a family or like an institution or even a class, simultaneously the karma of many people fructifies. So my karma is fructifying here, and your karma is fructifying, and the karma of other people. So now he's presenting a concept of karma, not only on a personal level, but simultaneously many people experience their own parabada, you know, and affecting the parabada one another. You know? For example, so my father has a disease, and it is his papa karma, you know. But since I have a connection as a son, I may need to get involved, and then his papa becomes my papa as well. Understand? So everything is intertwined. And Swami presents a little bit of that concept. Somebody's punya is fructifying here in this class, Swami says. He's doing a class, and some people is really bathing in joy, you know, really loving it, you know, and then is just getting the punya from the class. Some people are bored to death. They are suffering. So they are just they are just suffering the papa that is fructifying. The wife or the husband drag the person there, the person does not like, and somehow, but the person is there exhausting its papa. So some people are going to exhausting some punya, some people are going to exhaust papa around us all the time. What to say about when you see collective on your seat, in your town, in your city, on your state, in your country, and the whole planet? Some people exhaust the papa, some people exhaust the punya. What about me? I do not want to say whether I am exhaust punya. Here he makes a joke. He says, I'm not going to tell me if you, my class, you means a papa karma for me or punya karma for me. I keep it as a secret. Only I myself know. just a joke. Simultaneously, one event take place in the family has to take place in such a way that the karma of every family member has to fructify. Yeah, more or less what I said in respect to the example of my father. This thing about karma is very, there are so many nuances about it. Because, again, using the example of Ramana Maharaj, uh, he is a boy. He had that kind of spiritual epiphany. And then he said, so what am I doing here? These people, they are not really my father, my mother. I should go to Arunachala, you know, and live there at the foot, at the feet of Lord Vishnu, Shiva. Yeah? Is the symbol of Lord Shiva, my father. And then he walked away from that karma, leaving a very small note, you know, meaning to say that if you have a certain karma and you don't like the karma, you can walk away from that karma as well. You understand? But this is much easier said than done in respect to its results. You understand? In respect to its results. And that reminds me another interaction. Someone went to see Ramana Maharaj and then shaved his head. Maybe you heard this story. Shaved his head, dressed up a little bit like Ramana. Went there and told Ramana, Bhagwan, I'm here. I have renounced everything. I have renounced family, children, and business. I gave everything. I have passed it all on, and now I'm here and I'm looking for a small cave, a free cave if you have an education. I want to follow your footsteps and I'm going to do exactly like you did because I have renounced everything. And Ramana looked at him and in order to be polite with the person, he said, well, that's all right. You can do that without creating any papan, but only if the force that took me from my family and brought me here is the same force that is taking you from your family or business and brought you here. So you can walk away if things are so clear that it's not going to produce papan as guilt, regret, conflicting conflicting karmas to deal later on, such as neglecting family. So if you're identified with those roles, those circumstances, you better stay with it. You understand? But there is always a possibility to walk away from any papan. And one time I heard that from Ramji in respect to something I was sharing. He said, it doesn't matter. If you don't like the karma, just walk away. Okay. But as I said, you have to be really, really, really so clear to walk away from some karmas, not leaving unresolved or conflicting karmic things, that are going to disturb the mind more than remaining within a certain prarabdha karma. So everybody is exhausting some punya papa. Yes. Swami says, imagine somebody falls sick and another member is serving that sick person. The sick person is exhaust some papa, and the papa taking care is also exhaust some papa. But the papa serving someone is said to produce some punya, yeah, down the road. So the person, no, the point here is another one. The person who is suffering this terrible papa is also not only, enjoying some papa, exhaust some papa, but exhaust some punya because at least he has someone in the family taking care of him. Yeah? It's like some people say, no, don't do anything for anybody because it's interfering in one's karma, you know. Why? Well, how so? No, the person is suffering so much because it is her karma. The person must suffer because it's her karma. But then if someone has a genuine impulse to go there and add some punya, the punya belongs to that person as well. You understand? They say, no, I know, I'm not interfering. Ishwara is moving me to deliver some punya as well. You understand? It's the Lord fructify some punya, go there to attenuate, to the suffering of that person in some way. Yeah?
So basically, there are no mistakes with the Parabda.
Yeah, the Shwara system is structured in a way that everything is punya papa in manifestation.
And fructifying in the right way for everyone.
Yeah, in a timely mean as well, perfectly. But we have to see from our standpoint is if we are in tune with this Shwara structure, because there are many voices within the mind of Jiva Atma, and a lot of these voices, yeah, I should not be in nature, I should not do this, I should not, should not, should not, and that makes things very messy. You understand? But if we would be able to live spontaneously like the animals, but having the our Viveka Shakti at our disposal, you would have no doubt. And this is more or less in the condition of the yoni. The yoni is not that he's living all the time without any conflicting thoughts messing up, his mind in a certain moment. But overall, the yoni is far more spontaneous. Okay, because somehow there is an understanding of what is Mitya, what is Satya, what is my role, because one has a profound teachings which includes the Dharma and so on. And one just responds to the moment, sometimes better than sometimes others, but it's more spontaneously and never experiencing shame, pride, and guilt or regrets about anything. It just keeps moving. That I'm doing my best. Oh, but you, Yan, you. No, I'm not perfect. There is no Yan that's perfect. You just keep doing your things and never looking back. And you do it much more spontaneously than the Anyanis do, because the Anyanis, they are caught up with the mental process, which is, creating the difficulties that I should be a better me, I should not be like this. The Yan just spontaneous does what it does, and more often than not, a Yani that has gone through this process doesn't make much mistake in terms of being adamic, 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 adamic. I mean, we have to understand our swadharma. Violating our swadharma is a form of adamic action as well. Not loving or accepting yourself in your inferior nature as Ishvara designed you is a form of violation as well. It's understand your inferior nature, your real nature, and then you navigate in this world. And by and by, you get more purification, more spontaneity as well. Okay, so I'm saying sick person. I have got some family member to serve me. Great punya. I'm dying and I have some family members. It could be much worse. It's my punya that they have to spend sleepless night for my sake. It's their papa, but I'm enjoying their sacrifice as my punya. Yeah? If they keep away for your sake, they are exhausting the papa, and you exhaust your punya. So just accept things as they are. It reminds me of my mother who left her body. She died very young, 57. and she had some heart condition, and she was in the house of my cousin, who is a kind of a sister, because my mother adopt, yeah, my family adopt this person, my cousin. And she went for a vacation there, and my mother was all the time so concerned not to disturb anybody. She was like, "No, no, I don't disturb. I don't ask this. I don't ask that. I don't, that kind of person." And then she started having cries, of asthma, that condition, losing. And she was there with her boyfriend at the time. It was much later after my father and my mother divorced, separate. Uh, not in order not to disturb anybody there, she died. You know, she literally died because she was telling her boyfriend at the time, "No, no, don't wake them up, don't wake them up." And then when she was already gone, he rushed to get them, and then it was too late. She was dead. So why she could not take people's concern waking up in the night to help her as something fair. She had a very low self-image, and therefore she wants to compensate by saying, "No, I don't want to disturb anybody. I don't want anybody sacrificing to help me, For some reason, she had that kind of profile. So Bhagwan is going to connect everybody around us, all our family members, delivering us our Punya Papa. All very appropriately and timely appropriately. So now you can imagine what a complicated order Bhagwan has to manage, extremely complex. That's why often in Bhagavatam, Bhagwan names himself as Kala. I am the intelligent Kala Tattva who makes the appropriate karma at the appropriate time, fructifying at the appropriate time. Up to this, we saw in the last class. We did not begin the class of today yet. I know we did some. I don't know. We just follow because there is a lot into these unfoldments of Swamiji involving these Puranas and so on. Up to this we saw, so we have to come to the appropriate time to see the next line. What is that? All animals are also my manifestation. Every animal has got a unique feature, and if you have doubt, watch the Animal Planet. Now it's a good idea, Swamiji, sometimes to look at these documentaries on nature instead of some other killing, serials. So watch some, how you say, there is a name, Planet or Nature. I do not say that you should now watch the serial killers with sex, drug, killing, and rock and roll, but sometimes it's better you use Animal Planet. They are going to kill one another as well, but at least we can say no, but they are not really responsible because they are following the instinctive nature. They are all beautiful. I start losing my uh, romantic sentiments in regards to the animals here. I always thought, oh, these little chicken, when they're small, they are so beautiful. And then I started observing, I saw that they are cruel since the very beginning. They can be really cruel. But they are also, all of them are the glory of the Lord. And among all these animals, I am the king. The king. The king is the lion. So, uh, And then he talks about wings here. The bird. Pakshi means a bird. Paksha means wing. Pakshi means that which has got a wing. I never saw wing. Must have two wings to fly. So two wings are there. Okay. Therefore, Paksha, blah, 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 blah. The winged one, among the winged ones, maybe. So aeroplane has also two wings. According to definition, you can call an aircraft a Pakshi, that which has two wings. It has got two wings. Among the winged beings and birds and aircrafts. No, aircrafts we keep away from it, but it's all the glory of the Lord as well. And among all of these flying things, I am Vainateyaha, Garudaha. Garuda is the son of Vinata. And then he talks about the mother, which is Vinata. Garuda is the most glorious bird. Okay. Give me the picture, Swamiji. Give me the link. I want to see this glorious bird. Garuda is the most glorious bird. Devoted bird. That is Mount Vahanam of Lord Vishnu. So Pakshi Vahanam. Garuda is giving a prominent position. Garuda, the great devotee, the one who is immersed in devotion. I am the greatest devoted Garuda among the birds. But did you understand this Garuda, who is a great devotee, and how come it has two wings to fly?
Well,
It's
all birds do. All the birds have two. But
no,
I think Vahanam wasn't Lord Vishnu's mount a swan? Didn't a swan carry Lord Vishnu? But I thought Garuda might mean an eagle, but I'm not sure.
yeah. Now I'm trying to understand why this wonderful, glorious bird is connected to the ultimate devotion. So what is the what is why is bird is symbol of greatest post devotee, great devotee. Garuda Avaha means a great devotee. Garuda Vyanaha Ava means a great devotee. So the one who is immersed in so it's a little bit confusing to see how a bird became a symbol of devotion. So there is something about this bird that somehow is connected to devotion.
There must be a Puranic story.
Yeah,
We don't know.
and he's not mentioning here. So, and then he talks about the air, the wind. I'm the wind among the purifiers. I'm Rama among the weapon wielders. I'm Makara among all fish. I am the Ganges among the rivers. Now, among the purifiers, I'm the air, the wind. Okay. So, we have other things that purify, such as water, wash things away. And we have fire that, purifies things. But air purifies as well. And somehow Swami Krishna Ji says that the greatest possible purifier is the air, the moving air that is going to purify everything. And there must be a reason for him to put the element air as the greatest purifier. So we know that space does not have an element of purifying thing because it does not have that kind of property. It only has a sound and it just accommodates all the other elements or all other guna configurations. But when you come into air, The air is going to dry everything. It's going to purify everything. And it's more present as the wind, but even without the wind, the air is going to take care of certain things. I am Rama among the warriors holding weapons, and I am Makara among the fish. I am Ganges. So let's just see here if Swam says some regards to the power of purification of the air, why it's superior to fire and water. Pavata means among the purifiers. There are other purifiers, says Swamiji. So the river Ganges, yeah, or any other water, yeah, Ganga water is purified as well. It's wash impurities, physical impurities. The air cleans away physical impurities as well. And in the local water, if we take births, we do not know whether we get cleaner by baths or we're going to get even more dirt. Swamiji and one of his favorite jokes about India. We do not know. So pure water is capable of washing dirt away and purify, but don't take baths in Chennai. So water is a purifier. Fire as well is a purifier. That's why in the medical field, it's surgery. They they just hit all the instrument to kill all germs. That is a process of purification. So you have water, and then hot water, and then boiling water, and then you are dealing with heat and water, which is great to sterilize everything, the instruments. Cooking itself is a method by which we apply water and heat to purify certain uh, food, you know. It's a purifier, so, and wind is also a purifier, especially if things have got foul smell. So if there is something with a bad smell like mold, so let it be in the dry for several days, and slowly but surely, the smell will go. Krishna says, among all the purifiers, I'm the air, the wind, so which moves, that which moves, and also that which purifies. Punati it pavana. And that's why Anjaneya is called Pavana, the son of Vayu. Okay, symbolisms. That's the reason we worship the wind also. Not only we worship Bhumi, we worship fire, we worship the wind as well. Bhumi, what is Bhumi? Fire?
I think she's the Hindu goddess of the earth.
Okay. The fire, Agni. No, Agni is fire. Yeah. Yeah. And worship, okay. And we worship Yasu as well. Namaste, Vayu. Vayu. Where did it come? The wind, the air. So, I mean, the Indian culture has this, these characteristics, it's permeated by symbols of God. If you go to Tiruvannamalai, you will see it. In which culture a person will reveal the wind, the air. What an attitude. That's why the Lord says, I am the Vayu also, you know. So among the gods who wield different types of weapons, all our gods have weapons, we know that, and that's a symbol of protection of the Dhamma. So Lord Shiva has got his weaponry as well. Rama as well, Vishnu as well. All gods have got weapons. Why do they have weapons? To protect the Dharma. They have to hold weapon. We should know this clearly. There are some people who criticize the Hindu Vedic culture because of the weapons, of the gods. They say these gods, they are not compassionate. These gods really do not really love. Our gods only love us. Our gods do not love you because all of your gods have weapons. Your gods are cruel. They frighten us. We also are idiots and we listen to these stories and we get confused, Swami says. Let be very clear. Anybody who has to protect Dharma needs a weapon, has to have a weapon, because to protect Dharma, we have to use four upayas: sama, dana, beda, danda. Non-violent methods protect Dharma first. We should attempt initially to protect Dharma by no-violent means. But if all of them fail, ultimately we need the warriors with weapons to use violence if needed. So the violence for Dharma Rakshanam is not wrong. Not only is not wrong, it's right. And not only it's right, it's the only right thing. I mean, what it seems to be point two is that this is a school, the life where we live, the way we live, is a place where in which we exercise our free will, choosing things from moment to moment. Then unfortunately, ignorance here is so dense that we choose things that give us pleasure above all things. So just imagine people, they grow in this, government or political structures, and they get positions of more power. And the first thing they want is to protect everything that gives security and pleasures to himself, herself, and family. So human nature is like that. Above dharma, above justice, above compassion and love, I just want my pleasure. I want my security, and the more the better. Therefore, I want to be a billionaire. I will steal. I will do everything. So the nature of human beings is such that everybody, due to those sensory vasanas for pleasure and security, they violate Dharma. And there is no way. We need order. We need law. We need a proper justice, a proper Congress, and everything should ideally function so that we can live in societies that are a little bit more dharmic than most. Unfortunately, United States was at the beginning a good model, as it seems. But if we leave human beings by themselves, they become animals. I remember when I went to live in a period of time, we went to live from time to time in Tokyo, in Japan, and then later on in the United States. I was impressed how people used to follow the rules, especially in Japan. And then I thought, wow, these are superior people. And then later on, I understood, no, they follow because if they don't, they have to pay a ticket. They have to pay a price. Punishment is there, around the corner. So fear of punishment make people, and then of course there is a collective mind that you internalize all of that, like the Japanese people, that they cannot commit an error that becomes public. For them, it's better to take their life because mentally and they already they how you say uh, they are surveillance themselves. I don't want to do anything bad because that is going to destroy my moral. So people they follow the rules and the order and the law out of fear of punishment. Only rare individuals can follow Dharma, not out of fear, but out of understanding that's the only way we live in society on a win-win manner, structure. Everybody's winning because we have to follow that for the benefit of the collective, of everybody. So we stop here, Lynn and Sylvia. And we meet again this coming Monday. Ishwara willing. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. Now, coming back briefly to the situation we have in the world, it's such a mess, such a mess. And there is no solution. Why? Because our civilization has declined the spirit to a certain level that there is no way out anymore. That's why I'm not optimist of the future outcome. In our civilization, we moved away from Dharma, from God, from all the values, and so it doesn't matter. You take one party, one politician, you change one here, change the entire structure now is corrupted, is poisoned. There is this condition which is fundamentally spiritual ignorance. That is imploding all societies all over the planet. But let's not be
No,
holding
let's not,
negative thoughts.
because that verse right above 4:8 says, 4:8 says, to protect the righteous, to annihilate the wicked, and to reestablish the principles of Dharma, I appear on this earth age after age.
Yeah, yeah,
Fingers crossed.
yeah. Namaste.
Thank you, Orlando.
Thank you. Bye bye.